Hi guys, welcome to Vlogmas day 7. We are going to be sharing with you our first impressions of Tamarindo. Now it's kind of a bit cheating for me because I have been here once before, but this is Jamie's first time and I'm kind of seeing it from a different angle because before I was living on a boat, so it doesn't really count, I don't think. I'd say, like, first off, it definitely has a reputation of being quite touristy. I'd say it's one of the most touristy places in Costa Rica.
Probably the touristiest place, the most touristy place we've been, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So we have so far been to Monteverde, La Fortuna, Santa Teresa, and then Tamarindo. I think that's everything, right? Yeah. So this has been definitely the most touristy out of all of those. In comparison to La Fortuna and Monteverde, those are both much more like mountainous, like volcanoes and kind of like within the actual like center of the country, whereas Tamarindo is along the coast, as is Santa Teresa. But I would say some of the main differences between Tamarindo and Santa Teresa are, I would say Santa Teresa is definitely more like Instagram-y.
Yeah.
I definitely felt very self-conscious there. With Santa Teresa as well, like it's a lot more, I'd say it's harder to get around, whereas Tamarindo is a lot easier to get around. You have a lot of like taxis, shuttles, it's easy to drive. They even have those electric scooters, which are pretty cool. Whereas Santa Teresa, like, you either need a car, but you're gonna suffer with the potholes.
Yeah, the road, it's just, the whole town is one long road.
Of potholes.
But half of it is just, it's not even paved. And when we first got there, it had been torrential rain and it was just like...
There's no path either.
It didn't exist.
So you're like having to walk along the dusty road along with like lorries speeding past, ATVs constantly. So Santa Teresa, for me, like it was a little bit overwhelming trying to get around. Tamarindo is so much easier. So if that's like a consideration, I would definitely choose Tamarindo over Santa Teresa. Both of them have great surf and beaches. I find, like, again, Tamarindo to get like easier to get to different beaches, I think, especially if you want to avoid potholes and things. But yeah, I'd say in terms of like beach towns, they are both beach towns, but Tamarindo is a lot more touristy but more accessible. In terms of food though, I'd say the food in Santa Teresa was definitely better.
Yeah. There
was more options and generally I just found the quality was better, whereas here it's kind of roughly the same price but just not as good, and there's less options. I think weirdly for somewhere that's like really touristy, there's actually less options. On that note, the price is crazy. Like Costa Rica is so expensive. Like I'm talking like Canada, America, London prices, if not more. Oh yeah, we found the best taco place. It's so good. Like this is such a hack. Please guys, you need to write this one down. If you're looking for tacos or you love Mexican food, there's a place called Little Lucha, which is kind of, I mean, you can walk, like it's so easy to walk. Say if you were in the center of Tamarindo, you can easily walk there. It's kind of near the night market. Like if you check that out on Google, but type into Google Maps, you'll find it. But the tacos, oh my gosh, so good and so cheap. Like their normal prices, I think, for tacos were like $4 at this current time. If you go on a Tuesday, $2.50. You get so much for your money and you only really need like 2 or 3 tacos, depending on like how much you like to eat, I suppose. But they are so good. The quality is good, the price is good. It's $2.50 on a Tuesday. So if you are in Tamarindo on Tuesday, like you have to get to this place. We've noticed it's really popular with the locals as well, which is a good sign. And they have a few hot sauces you can try. So we definitely recommend that if you're in Tamarindo, and it's, yeah, one of the best priced places and quality that we found.
Yeah, and they have a different special every night. When was the first time we went? A Saturday?
We've been a few times.
The first of the 4 times we've been.
Yeah, it was a Saturday because they had a burrito.
Called the Big Ass Burrito.
Yeah.
And I asked how they translate that and the woman started laughing. I don't think the translation means quite the same thing. That was $10 on the special night.
Something
and it
like
was
that.
Like, it was huge.
And you get free chips of guac. In terms of stuff to do in Tamarindo, there's so much to do. We still have a little bit actually to do still, but in our research and what we are gonna book, There's like estuary tours. You can go on like sailing trips. Some of those include snorkeling as well. It's so easy to get to other beaches like Playa Flamingo, Playa Grande, like all of that. Surf lessons, which is cool. Like I mentioned, it's a really good surf spot. And it's good for beginners as well, depending on where you surf, but there's loads of surf schools to choose from. Jamie actually did surfing lessons the other day.
Yeah, on the main beach, and the instructor was saying it's so good for beginners here because the waves are a bit smaller.
Did you find it easy to book?
Yeah, it's really easy. Yeah, how did it? I think I WhatsApped them and they were like, yeah, just come along. They had spaces all day, and then they recommended the best time for the best surf with the tides. Yeah, super easy. Also,
the wildlife here, I didn't think it would be as like much as there actually is. You can walk around. We've seen howler monkeys on 3 separate occasions. Today they actually came down off the tree and walked across the road. We knew they were males.
Quite clearly.
But we've also seen babies, and like just seeing them like climb through the trees and eating, and it's so cool. You can also see iguanas walking around, which is epic. And they're not like small, like there are some smaller ones, but we've seen ones like this big, like little chunky fellas. We also went to a really cool night market last night. I would definitely recommend that. That was something like that gave us really, really good impressions, I think, of Tamarindo. It's on a Thursday evening. I think it's from 6 until like 9 or something like that. But they had so much street food, which looked insane. It looked so good. They also had cakes and live music, drinks, loads of stalls. I actually got this necklace, I don't know if you could see, from a stall there. It was an Argentinian stall actually, but there was so much like jewelry and like handmade items. It was really cool, so I definitely recommend going to that.
The woman gave you a hug after you bought that.
Yeah, she gave me a hug. It was so cute.
Everyone was so friendly.
I'd also recommend on a Saturday, apparently, Saturday mornings, there's also another market. I don't know if it's more food. We're going to find out tomorrow. We're going to try and go in the morning, but yeah, it looks really good as well. So there's another market to check out. I think that one's earlier. It's from like 7 a.m. until I think 2 p.m. And that is at the skate park in the center of Tamarindo. If you're a solo traveler, I would say when I came here last time, I was by myself and I felt completely safe walking around. I would just exercise caution as you would anywhere else. I mean, we've both, like even as a pair, we've felt safe. I would just say I wouldn't personally walk around by myself at night, especially anywhere that's kind of a bit quieter. I think you'd be fine on like the main street, but I just personally wouldn't walk around by myself at night. But in the day, completely fine. And they do have Uber here as well, and loads of taxis and stuff. In terms of supermarkets, I would say we've tried a few and we've remortgaged the house we don't have several times. The one that we found that's the cheapest and also has the most stuff was, I think it's called Maxi Pali, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like 10 minutes-ish outside of like the main town.
By car.
So yeah, you do need a car. If not, I'm sure you could probably get an Uber.
Yeah, the Uber's quite cheap.
Not 100%. But yeah, if you've got a car, that's a great one to go to because it saved us a lot of money and we found a lot of stuff that we couldn't find anywhere else. We also did a night tour to go try and spot turtles laying eggs on the beach. And that was really cool, wasn't it? That gave us a really nice first impression of Tamarindo. It was really well like executed, the tour. The guide was really nice. He had a lot of facts. You get taken on like a minibus and it's all like regulated. They're really careful about where you stand and how you use light and stuff like that. You can't use torches and things. I will say it was like a 25-minute hike, not hike, 25-minute like walk in the dark, which I kind of peed myself a little. I was a bit scared. I was so nervous. I was holding my torch and it was just like shaking, which was, my dignity was intact. So we're going to keep this vlog reasonably short. I hope that gave you a good impression of our impression of Tamarindo. If you do have any questions, drop them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. But yeah, if you have any questions, drop them below. If you have enjoyed this vlog and you want to see more of our Vlogmas adventures, trust me, they're going to get even more exciting. These ones have been a little bit tame because we're having to work every day and we're in one place, but we're going to be moving around so much. We've booked trips to Nicaragua, to Tortuguero in Costa Rica still. We're looking at San Jose. We're also going to Lima in Peru and Cusco and a load of other places in Peru. So if you're interested in any of that, please do subscribe. I would be so happy. Do a little happy dance behind the scenes, and yeah, I'd love to have you along on the journey, so please do subscribe and I will see you tomorrow.